But I hope you've had a good week.
I had one. Just that you can't say it all that it is good in an economy such as this, but we are trying to float. Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Fine.
You'll be fine.
Okay.
Also, lawyer Kwame Jantua has joined us. He's a private legal practitioner and a member of the CPP, the Conventions People's Party. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I am fine. I've just been wondering why Ghanaians are always being taken for granted.
Why do you say that?
Where's the MPP? Why aren't they here? Why aren't the MPP here? Do they not have a responsibility to Ghanaians? Are they not supposed to be able to espouse what they're doing? Are they not supposed, when we throw things at them, are they not supposed to be able to defend it? Are they not the party in power? And they boycott a station like this. Why? MPP, please come back. The people want to hear. Some of the things we say that you don't agree with, we want to hear. Number two, cost of data. Why is the cost of data escalating? It's a fundamental human right in some countries. Who is saying anything about it? Why are they taking people for granted? Number three, the president said they had constructed 12,000 kilometers of road. Is it finished? Are those roads finished? Because, look, and I've been in this road construction business for 10 years before I went in the oil industry. What does it take for a road to be completed? Call Ghana Highways, call urban roads. Once the road is finished, you need to put the road safety devices on the road. Are the roads marked? Do the roads have traffic lights? Do the roads have road signs on them? And so if you've done 12,000 kilometers, have you put all these on? And you see, the sad thing is that people are dying, especially at night. Even if you had markings on the road, it will guide cars on the road. Are the roads marked? Even in Accra, are they marked? So how can the president tell us they have completed 12,000 kilometers of road?
Which is why the MPP should have been here to respond to
That is why I'm saying, where are they?
They say they're angry.
Angry about what?
I have no idea.
Angry about what? What are they angry about?
Well,
you are the party in power. You have responsibility. Majority of Ghanaians voted for you to be in power. Don't you have a duty of care to them? That you can't come on a show like this?
Well, MPP
here I am talking about 12,000 kilometers of road. I might be wrong. Aren't you supposed to be here to tell me that come down to what you're saying is nonsense? But you say you won't come because of what? You're taking the people for granted and you want us to vote for you again. Okay, let's see.
Well, you're heated this morning already.
I don't understand it.
Rightly so. I mean,
I don't understand it.
But let me also introduce my third guest this morning. Nana Sapon is a political aide to Honorable Alan Tremating, who is the founder of Movements for Change. Good morning. I hope you're well.
I'm doing so very well.
Are you also heated this morning? We have a peace.
No, I was just trying to help.
Peace Council here, so just in case.
I was just trying to help answer Wolfer's call on why data is so expensive, and that is because of the number of taxes that the telcos are being made to pay. And Alan Tremating is saying in his GTP on digital mainstreaming as one of the policies, and I'll read to you. After that, I'll give you this hard copy so that you can keep, and I'll get lawyer one. That doesn't mean you should steal our ideas. Thank you.
No, but have they stolen any of your ideas?
Oh, MPP and NDC for now. They are old. They don't have fresh. Offer tax rebates and other incentives to telcos in order to reduce significantly the cost of data.
Okay.
And I agree when he has said that it is more like a fundamental human right. People should have access to data in order to study, in order to have access to information. Where the world has gotten to, data should be the most cheapest commodity that, it should be free. Bella, recently I saw some videos of you and I know where you went, that the cost of data in those jurisdictions are very easy. And it all helps us in people are talking about digitalization, am I right? It's one of their, but yet, in their own regime. The cost of data is so high. So what are they digitalizing?
I mean,
What would we use to access those information?
Speaking of which, they even dashed me data. I'm not there, but I got a message today and they said I have extra data. I haven't even used the one that I had when I was there. So cheap.
And it's because of the nuisance taxes that we have in our system. And that is what Alan is preaching, that we are going to cut off all of those taxes. We need to set the fundamentals right. We need to set right the foundation. Of course, they are not coming because they are on their way out. What he has here.
Whatever the case is, they have a responsibility to Ghanaians. They can't tell us
they have left the
because we are annoyed, we are not coming.
Well,
Ghanaians want to hear.
Which is why Money, for example, is asking a very important question, that if they should go out of power, will they now resume, the show? And I have no idea if that will be the case. But let's just hope that
now that they have sued you, the media general, would they be able to come?
Oh, but I don't know. I cannot answer.
Oh, okay.
I cannot answer that.
Aren't Ghanaians supposed to hear their point of view on a program like this?
They have to.
Don't Ghanaians deserve to hear what the MPP think?
They are exhausted. Their ideas are all gone.
Let's move on. And good morning to all of you who are watching us on Facebook as well. Kelvin Niashon says they say they are angry because they keep pairing with the NDC. Okay, we hear you. That's not the reason. I'm sure it's probably just the fact that the issues are quite a lot. Mani doesn't want peace. That's Nyo Digni Atukwe. Okay. Pearl Apafu, good morning to you as well. And Mani is still asking those questions. And Peace Council, my foot. That's Nelson Yesuto Kofi Akotia. David says, so those who came, are they managing things well? Okay, well, we'll get into the messages shortly, but let's start off our conversation with the National Peace Council and the NDC. Now, the NDC, through its chairman, a few days ago, granted an interview where he indicated that there's no way they will sign any pre-election peace declaration ahead of the 2024 polls. And he says that that's because the Peace Council has been or has shown in action with regards to a lot of the issues that Ghanaians are facing, especially for the party as well. And so we'll play an audio indicating what exactly he said. And right after that, we'll also play a response from the Peace Council saying that they have not betrayed the NDC in any way. And in fact, they have been handling some of these issues behind closed doors. Take a look.
Otherwise, if you allow all those things to build up, and you say that, let us go and play peace football match, let us sign declaration, let us do this with the hope that we will get a peaceful election. Peaceful election will not happen because we did all this in 2020, all this and more in 2020. Council of State, Peace Council, everybody was involved, signing declarations left, right, center. The 2020 election turned out to be the most violent elections in the whole of the Fourth Republic.
So this year, not
so
signing.
It tells you that signing or no signing is not the issue. What we have to talk about is the building blocks that will create the violence.
And you heard that the chairman of the opposition, NDC...
They themselves agreed that they will police their own people, what they say, how they say it, and all of those things. While they are in a meeting, their people will call us and ask, what is the Peace Council saying? You are a member of that committee. What do you expect from us again? It's difficult to see all these things going on consistently. Peace Council is being blamed left and right. When we are all in the meeting, let your representatives who come to those meetings go back and report what was it that we discussed? What did we agree on? What are the things that you sign up to? 300 stations. People are listening to different things. And so the accusation will continue. For us, we know what we've done. 2 days ago, when a very high-level meeting represented by these two big parties, top-level people, the issue about recruitment, the issue about all these things that are in the news today, we discussed 2 days ago, cleared the air. The defense minister cleared the air. All these things have been done.
All right, so that is Reverend Dr. Asiedu Nketia. He is the chairman of the National Peace Council. And earlier you heard from the chairman of the NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketia. And so I'll start off with you, Council Lawyer Maliba, because you've heard from the chairman of the National Peace Council. He says that even just 2 days ago, you had a meeting where you discussed some of these issues. And really, they cannot be on every platform because there are too many radio stations and TV stations all across the country. And so they have been addressing these issues. And they don't see why you still keep raising objections to how they're handling the many issues that have come up. What would you say?
Let me start by saying good morning to your viewers. You know, signing a peace pact in itself is not a guarantee for peaceful elections. Because you are just putting ink on paper. What the chairman sought to say is this, that there are warning signals which has the potential of disturbing the peace. And if you don't tackle those warning signals, forget it. If you sign a peace pact, there will not be peace. How is this difficult for anybody to understand? For instance, in the last elections, the NDC reported of the printing of 1 million ballot papers. Close to 1 million ballot papers. We busted those who engage in that in a printing house, an accredited printing house that is supposed to be printing these papers. The ballot papers were sent to somewhere, guarded by a policeman, and they were burnt. Subsequently, a report was lodged with the police administration. Till this date, till that time, it's almost 4 years now, nothing has been heard. Don't you think that those people who did it and have not been punished will now perfect their act for 2024? And when I talk, I keep quiet for it to sink, for everybody to know. So those people have not been punished. And we are going into another election. These are warning signals. What has happened? Ballot papers were found, already unprinted. Can you imagine if this had entered into the system? Then the MPP will go out and say, we have beaten them by 1 million votes. Sometimes these votes that the MPP claim they have won, or they have over the NDC, is not votes that are lawfully obtained. This is an example of what I'm saying about. The appointment of that guy, the IT guy, in the Brown Afro region, who is now in the EC. We wrote a letter to the Electoral Commission, what's the name? The Council of Elders.
Okay.
Council of State?
Council of State. Drawing their attention to the appointment which seeks to, as it were, politicize the commission. Because it's a known MPP guy who sits like I said. Can you imagine tomorrow me being appointed to the Electoral Commission? What was the response from the Council of Elders? That they can't do anything about it. The man is qualified. Can you imagine?
Did you write to the
We wrote to the
as well?
No, we wrote to
Just
the Council of Elders.
Okay.
Yes, because they would have some jurisdiction over the appointment, because such appointment goes through the Council of Elders.
Yeah.
You know, nothing was said about it. They brushed it aside. Look, Ayawaso West, they told us it was a dress rehearsal. When some people were maimed, today, up to date, they have not compensated those people. I'm following on their compensation.
Nothing has.
Nothing. They have refused to compensate them, even though the Emirshot Commission has recommended compensation. They've refused. This government has refused. When they were beating us in Ayawaso West Wogo, they were beating and telling us that that's a dress rehearsal. They said it on the video, audio. Techuma. SAF. And in the Techuma SAF, you had state agents, army, aiming at unarmed crowd and killing them. All this put together does not suggest that we are ready to deal with the warning signals. So, just merely signing a peace pact to create the impression that we are for peace, when coming events do not show that there's going to be peace. Look at the recent reckless comment, silly comment made by Brian Champon. This is the third time I, then Director of Legal Affairs, led a group of lawyers to report his conduct to the police administration. I'm sure you knew about it. The police administration met our executives and told them that those comments cannot ground any criminality. So he's free to go. Why wouldn't he continue? Why wouldn't he continue making those comments?
About the fact that they'll do anything possible to win? Is that the one you're referring to?
Yes. And that they weren't going to hand over. He has been making... Don't just look at one of his comments. You can see the series of comments and then you put them together and you look at the net effect of those his comments he has been making. And we have a president in this country who claims he's a Democrat, cannot call his minister to order, or cannot make statements that will erase that perception.
But he's also made statements to reflect that, because he also says that
He's even worse.
cannot hand over power to someone that he's beaten
He's worse.
in elections.
He's worse. The late Professor Mills, you remember when the late chairman of the NDC made comments about the judiciary? He was out of this country. When he returned, you saw the comment he made to douse the effect of what the chairman said. That is leadership. And that's why I expected our stubborn Akufo-Addo to have also dealt with this matter and said, look, our democracy is not for, it's not to be toyed with.
But Nana B has said, and yesterday he spoke, he says that we seem to have misconstrued what the Minister of Agric said. And that if he says that they're going to do everything possible to win the elections, then he's probably referring to the fact that when it comes to ensuring that they encourage people to vote and do the right things to win, that's what he's talking about. And nothing to do with violence. That's what Nana B is saying.
And I'm saying that, put together all his comments. If this man had just spoken just yesterday, probably we would say that out of the political desire to support his party, he said this. But this man has been making series of comments. The combined effect of those series of comments is what Ghanaians are talking about. I must commend, to be honest, the president of the Catholic Bishops' Conference, who came out boldly to confront him and literally made it clear that he's a little ant and he cannot say he won over.
Yeah.
Me, the very time I saw Rawlings handing over to Kufuor, I said, nobody can ever say he won or hand over again. Who are you, Brian Champon, to say that you won't hand over? So when you look at how the Peace Council, Moral Voices, faith-based organizations, civil society are mum in some of these things, are not talking to condemn some of these things, then it creates the impression that we are not ready for the peace, just that we want to sign the peace pact. And
so your concern is the fact that they just remain quiet.
they've just remained quiet. Nobody's
If they had
addressing.
spoken, would this have changed anything?
If they had spoken, it gives a signal to the NDC that we are not alone in fighting for free, fair, and just elections.
Okay.
If they had dealt with the 1 million ballots, is that not a serious crime enough where you have 1 million ballots already printed and were to be put into the system? Because when you print 1 million ballots, you are not printing them to just put them down. And so if you look at the pockets of events and the refusal of the Peace Council, and let me say this, the Peace Council should change its modus operandi. this we are meeting the parties behind the scenes is no more tenable.
What would you rather?
What they should do is to always come out with a statement that suggests that they are on top of the issues. Because if they come to meet the NDC, the man on the street doesn't know that that is happening.
Okay.
That is not how to deal with situations where greater majority of Ghanaians are interested in. This democracy is not for only NDC and MPP.
Okay.
So they should be proactive and they shouldn't wait for the issues to get stale before they comment. Luckily enough, yesterday, they put together a committee which I am representing the NDC in, and I told them yesterday that what they should be doing is to be issuing press statements. They should be condemning openly.
All right.
I told them yesterday they should be condemning openly.
Because in the meetings you have, they condemn actions. Do they condemn actions of government or anybody else in the meetings that you have with them? Like the private meetings you have?
They
with
won't come out to condemn. They will be diplomatic. Okay. You know, they say they are always diplomatic. They don't want to, as it were, put fire in the situation.
Even in the private meetings that you have?
Yes, they will not come out to condemn.
Not even condemning in the private meetings. What makes
they won't come out to condemn openly. So I told them that, one, some of the interventions should be statements condemning acts, name and shame, and then ensure that they intervene quickly.
All right.
And don't allow the issue to go stale before. And they've taken that on board.
All right. Let me bring Lawyer Jantua in because, again, you are also a member of the CPP. I want to understand if you side with the NDC's decision not to sign the peace pact. Do you as a party also have the same concerns that the NDC has with regards to how the Peace Council has conducted itself in the last couple of years?
Good morning to our viewers. But let me start by saying at least somebody in Ofuripenyi Fie has listened to my advice to go to court on this Ejapade thing. This is a writ of summons that they've gone to court on. It is more specific on defamation than on the document.
Yeah.
But if it goes to court, this document will come out because they need to give reasons. But one thing that is missing on this summons is the NDC.
Why should they be on there?
The president said it's his opponents who have generated this document. And if the opponents are defaming you, they have to be on the summons. Have they brought you some summons?
That I don't know. But if your name is not on the rate, how will you be served?
Well, I'm saying your name is not on there.
Or maybe they might file another one.
I'm saying that your name should be on here. Because the president has said this originates from his opponents.
Okay.
But thank God, they watch us and they are listening. It's good. You were talking about
the National Peace Council.
Look, what is the use of signing a peace accord if that peace accord does not have fire behind it? So you sign the peace accord and the elections, there's violence. What is the use of that peace accord? Look, what are the responsibilities of the Peace Council? 1, promoting peace. 2, conflict resolution. 3, dispute settlement. 4, community engagement. 5, research and analysis. 6, capacity building. 7, collaboration. 8, early warning. 9, reconciliation. And it's the 10th one that I want to ask a question on, advising government. What have they advised government concerning comments of some of the MPP members with regards to these elections? When the president said he won't hand over to any other person but his own, did they go to him and ask him why he said that?
What if they did?
So they should let us know. The Peace Council are there because of the people of Ghana. They should make whatever discussions they have, they should make it known to us. They should be advising us periodically, not only when elections come up. But I asked the question, the legislature and the executive, how many people? Would I be right in saying, you know, the legislature is 275? Will I be right in saying a figure of 450? Will I be right in saying that? Putting executive and legislature together. Will I be right in saying that? Even let's say 500. How can 500 people, how can 500 people try their possible best to put fear in 32 million people? How? Why? Why is it that every election we have to cry and beg for peace? Why? Is it not just election? You either win or you either lose. Simple. Why do we have to always beg for politicians to please not do things that can throw this country into the abyss? Why? In other countries that we want to follow, do we see this? Or is it because when they are in power, some of the things they do, the people are not for it, so they need to protect themselves? Is that why? And when we vote the people in power, is it not the people who have put you there? Are you not there to serve us? And sometimes I blame us. Why? Because we treat our presidents and our executive and our legislature as gods. Once they get there, we have to kowtow to them. No, it is wrong. It is wrong. So you sign a peace agreement with no power behind it. Last election, how many people died? 8 people.
8 people, yes.
What has the president said about it? Has he ever commented about those 8 people? Has he ever gone to visit these people who lost their family members? Has he ever? And so if you tell us that you are president for all and things like this happen under an election and you do nothing about it, okay, let's put President Akufo-Addo aside. His term is ending. What about Vice President Baumia, who is crying to be president, who says he's a mate, but now he will be a driver? The first point of call for Vice President Baumia was to go to those people. Those 8 people who died, was to visit those families. First point of call, as a responsible vice president. Has he done it? Has it happened? So tell me what the use of signing paper would do. Tell me. And the Peace Council, they tell you that, oh, we don't have those powers that we can hold people responsible.
Yeah.
Huh? Come back to the people. Come back to the people. And you see, for me, the most dangerous bit of it all is our security services. So Brian Champong makes such comments. You get such comments from this, and you won't call him and question him, my friend, what did you mean by the comment you made?
Especially because he also was a minister of defense,
yes.
I believe, right?
But it's up
So
to
for him to even
no,
make such a statement.
This can't. This
National security. Okay.
Can
pardon
you
me, yes,
imagine?
security, yes.
Can you imagine Kamala Harris or Trump or what do you call it? Scammer, the British Prime Minister during election saying, or even the Conservative Prime Minister who left recently, saying in front of number 10 Downing Street that whatever the case is, they won't hand over.
No, they dare not even make that
They
statement.
dare not even.
Yeah.
MI5 will quickly. When the past Prime Minister of the UK, he didn't wear his seatbelt. What happened? What happened? What happened? When another Prime Minister made a comment, forgetting that the mic was still on, what happened? So why are we treating those we vote into power like gods? What is the fear? What is the fear? What is the false evidence appearing real with these people? What is the fear? That the economy is such that people can't make ends meet. And we are scared to talk about it. And that's why I asked the question, where's the MPP on this table? They have a responsibility. The president has a responsibility to the people of Ghana. And when Brian Champo makes such a comment, has the president called him to ask him, my friend, what are you talking about? Has he? Or has he clapped his hands for him? Or Brian Champo feels that he has the power because the president is in consonance with him? Is that what it is?
I mean, if you look at the demeanor of the people who were seated behind him when he made that statement, they all burst into laughter, sort of, when he said you can go and burn the sea.
Because they've taken us for granted. And that is the challenge we have in this country. They have taken us for granted because they feel, Nanado coming in, Ghana is theirs.
So does it mean the CPP will not sign
and
this peace pact as well?
continue to say, one of the major challenges we have with President Akufo-Addo's government is because they feel Nkrumah snatched their possession from them when he came. And they've got to take that possession back, and we are subjects for them. He should prove it. That is not so. Because you do not understand why you make inflammatory comments like that and the president is quiet. And the president seems to be quiet about so many things till last minute, till things get bad.
So the CPP will not sign?
Well, at that point, I cannot speak.
Okay, all right.
I cannot speak for them.
Okay.
At this moment, because I don't think the executives have said anything, but I'm sure they have met the Peace Council. The Peace Council has said some of the smaller political parties are ready to sign. But for me, the signing, what is the impact of the signing? Once we sign, what is the impact? What are you going to tell those who want to foment trouble when that peace pact is signed? What are you going to tell them?
But we've been signing this in the last couple of years. And so
I'm
what
saying,
makes it different? Is it the fact that things have de-escalated?
We've been signing it because we are scared politicians will make inflammatory comments.
Yeah.
But if they make inflammatory comments and violence still happens, what do we do about it? Like 2020.
Okay.
What do we do about it?
Nelson Yesuto says that, Mr. Jantua, don't worry, they should bring it on. NPP have no idea what is coming. And Catherine Michelle says, and Brian Champon was the brain behind the violence at Ayaoso West. We have not forgotten. Mani says that the NPP should not think people don't know how to light a lighter. Whatever happens in the country will affect you more than anyone, the peace or Christian Council. That's Awal Mohammed. And so the comments clearly speak to the fact that they also don't see why there should be a need to sign this peace pact when issues regarding peace have not been addressed in the country.
Bella, before my brother comes, let me ask a question. Have you seen any of the coups?
I haven't experienced, but I've read what's happening in Mali, in Senegal. Well, not Senegal, pardon.
I have seen 66.
Burkina Faso.
I've seen 79. It is no mean feat. Don't let us go down that route. If we are talking violence, go look at what happened in 66.
Okay.
The number of people who died, the way this country was thrown back, that we are suffering for it now.
Nanaya, what do you make of this as well? And has your movement been approached to sign a peace pact as well?
Thank you very much, Bella. And good morning to your cherished viewers and my senior colleagues. I wanted to start from where Lajantua landed, and just want to draw his attention to the fact that 66 is too far. They should just play us the videos of what is happening in Kenya. and what happened in Mali some few days, or is it Burkina Faso in some few days ago, and then you would get a clearer picture. This is the black and white.
But we need to learn from history.
But you see,
we need to learn from history.
I think John Tua's point is that people don't think that it can happen here.
Yes.
And it has happened here before.
It's just happened next door, so it can happen. Of course, we are just sitting on time bomb, and they should take that into consideration. Well, the Peace Council has a mandate. Now, I have two lawyers here, so when I go wrong, I'm not a lawyer. When I go wrong and I'm not able to say it right, I think I'll get people to help me out. If you take a look at the Act 818 that established the Peace Council, the object of the council, as stated in the Act, says that the object of the council is to facilitate and develop mechanisms for conflict prevention, 2, management, 3, resolution, and to build sustainable peace in the country. And so the Peace Council's mandate is not during elections. The Peace Council's mandate goes beyond elections. And so if we only hear of the Peace Council during elections, then they are not fulfilling the object of the act that established them. Well, it's unfortunate that we are here today. The Peace Council, in my view, has not lived to expectations. I am personally disappointed in the Peace Council. I'm sorry. That is not the stand of Alan or the Movement for Change. This is my personal opinion. I am personally disappointed.
How long have you been disappointed at them? And at what point did you get to the realization that they have not lived
I got disappointed.
You are getting him.
I got disappointed when
Roland-like question.
when a deputy national security minister who had witnessed a by-election that was closed with violence made a statement on a political platform saying that they would not hand over today or tomorrow, and the Peace Council did not crack the whip. My disappointment extended when that same person repeated himself. The first one he made was in 2022, repeated himself in 2023. And then in that statement, he says he just wants to place emphasis on the statement he had made previously. And now this person is elevated to the position of a cabinet minister.
Yeah.
And then says that we can go and bend the sea. And they were laughing. If you watch the video after he said that,
Yeah. They laughed.
and they were laughing.
Incredulous.
How do we give you the power, the authority to lead our country, and then you threaten us with violence, with intimidation, and you do it with impunity, and you laugh? You know, sometimes you make statements and you end the statement and yourself, you are shocked, and then something gets to your mind and go like, oh, why did I say this? No, but this one, after it was said, and they were laughing. And it's not funny. And the Peace Council has said nothing about it. Bella, if you're looking at the elements of an election that would bring about peace, it's not that paper that they would go and sign. Practically, that is the last thing when you have even researched. I mean, some of my seniors who have done courses in security and elections, they know that is practically the very last thing. The actions and the statements by candidates, when not looked at, can trigger violence than not signing that piece of paper. And Alan Tremantin had the opportunity on Sunday to visit the Parliament Chapel when Apostle Francis Amoakwanta was having the 60th birthday Thanksgiving service.
Okay.
And when given the opportunity to speak, after he had actually congratulated Apostle and spoken about his GTP and why Ghanaians should vote for a Christ-like leader, in wrapping up, he said that we have no other country to go to. The only country we have is Ghana. And for that matter, there is the need for us to all preach peace. And he cannot lead a country that is in jeopardy, a country that would be affected by violence and be destroyed. And for that matter, we should all come together as one people and have a peaceful election. And in his statement, there was a bishop from Liberia who had come. He said, if we had time, we would have just given the mic to the bishop from Liberia to tell us a little about the violence, the political violence that had actually taken place in Liberia and the effect it did have and is still having on the people. And these are statements that we should be seeing and encouraging all of those individuals who have actually expressed their intentions to contest for the seat of the president in December. None of them, I have not heard any of them, aside Alan Tremantin, I have not heard any of them make publicly called out for peace.
You haven't heard any of the parties?
I've not heard of them. That's it, John Nketia.
Has he?
No, not yet.
He says he hasn't heard any of the other parties
Alaji has not made a
calling
statement
for peace.
Calling for peace.
The NDC has been talking about peaceful elections.
I said the candidates.
Okay, so it's the candidates that you're expecting to speak.
They are leading the troop. The conduct by the Electoral Commission to be able to supervise a free and fair elections, their actions and inactions, is something that the Peace Council should be looking at. We shouldn't have an Electoral Commission that would go into an IPAC meeting and come and tell us that we will not take the decisions and resolutions that have taken place. We shouldn't have an Electoral Commission that would come and tell us that they would do what they feel they have to do and not what we think that would be fair. Bella, we should also look at the security and law enforcement agencies.
What exactly should we be
You
looking at?
cannot have the police doing recruitments some few days into elections, and those new recruits would be those that would be pushed to the election area.
Is that the plan? Is that what has
That
been
has
said?
always been. That has always been it. The NDC did it, the NPP did it, and Ghanaians have been crying. And Bella, you go out there during elections, you go out there and you see these new recruits that they don't know their left from their right. And these are issues that the Peace Council should be dealing with. One other thing that is actually an element that we in the movement for change, and for that matter, Alan Tremantin is looking at, is the winner takes all syndrome. If we have a government of national unity that prioritizes the Ghana agenda, we will not have these political parties fight over nothing. And so the government of national unity should be a call by all.
Okay.
So that we are able to deal with that winner takes all syndrome.
All right.
Bella,
Please learn from me.
the very last one is for us to have an issue-based campaign. If you've noticed, anybody from the movement that comes on any of the platforms is very much focused on dealing with issues of bread and butter and how we are going to solve the current economic crisis that we are in. We come with our GTP and we speak to issues.
Okay.
We tell Ghanaians what we would do. We tell Ghanaians how we are going to do it. We do not come to beat war drums. And I think that the media would have to take that up.
Is there any other party that's beating war drums?
Oh, no. Go and bend the sea. And,
Okay, so they're the ones you're referring to.
And the other one that does this. Huh?
So you're referring to the NDC as well.
The other one that does
You're
this.
referring to the NDC as well.
What is that? What is that? What does that sign mean?
What does that sign mean? Lawyer One
What does that sign mean? But Graphic Online, June 4th, 2024, NDC committed to peaceful elections, Mahama, and this is what he just said briefly. Former President Mahama has pledged the commitment of the National Democratic Congress to peaceful elections on December 7th, 2024. This puts to paid your comment.
Can you help me check that of Alaji?
Who?
Alaji.
Who's Alaji?
Baumia.
Dr. Baumia.
But why don't you have the go and talk to his people to do that?
I want us to move to our next topic, but I don't know if you want to just touch on this briefly. He brought in the issue of recruitment, even in the security agencies, and that has also generated a lot of talk. Yesterday, the Interior Minister spoke on this matter, and he says that he did not, in any form, try to bribe the NDC MPs in Parliament to at least bring in 2 people from their constituencies to, join the security recruitment, just so that they can go ahead and allow this activity to go on. He says that's not true.
You know why I don't believe the minister? Because he actually admitted that he met the MPs.
Yes.
But just that he didn't attempt to bribe them, and that bribe is a strong word. So it is his understanding of what he did. He admitted that he did what he did, but it is not a bribe. He admitted that because he said that the MPs have always been complaining that their constituents apply, but they don't get admitted or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And because of that, he engaged them to say they should bring two. He admitted to that.
He didn't say he engaged them to bring 2. He said that he told them to apply again, especially for those who had applied and didn't get it.
So apply again means what? When the matter before you is about your illegal recruitment of people into the security service or your wrongful recruitment. So I don't believe him, but I'll believe my chairman because his own statements gave him out. But you see, our understanding is also that there are some training also going on at the military barracks at a chance. Where is that place? Their training center there.
What kind of training?
We know that they are training these people to put them out there on the election day.
Okay.
But how they are going to deploy them is what we are yet trying to get.
Are they training recruits or new people altogether?
There's some training about them that they want to use them for the elections. So it's not only...
Are these military men, are these security officials?
That is what I'm just saying, that we need to get more information on that.
Okay, so you don't have it, okay.
Yes, okay. So we need to get more information on that.
Okay.
And I'm following through to get that information. I'll put it out here when we meet.
All right.
But it is not only the police. It is also with the military. And we are watching the scene to see how we... But because these elections, no security man, no police officer, no army officer can stop or subvert the will of the people. It won't happen.
All right.
It won't happen.
Let's just go into the Galamsey conversation now. And so 2 days ago, Lawyer, you wanted to touch on this as well?
I just wanted to touch on it.
Okay.
In terms of security, whose responsibility is it? Is it not the police?
It's police.
Is it the army?
No.
So what are the army doing where elections are concerned?
The IGP the last time, he said that the police is understaffed, let me put it that way, and that they get the support from other security agencies. But then it is the police that leads.
Whose responsibility is it
that is plenty of English.
Hire people into the security services? What is the responsibility of the ministry? The ministry is a policy body. What do they have to do with recruitment of people into the security services?
But he clearly stated that it's not their job to recruit.
So then what was he saying about this 222 thing? What was he saying about it? Did he actually confirm that the ministry has never tried to recruit people into the security services? Did he say that? Or did he admit that such a thing has gone on? And you see, it's not only the government in power. When the NDC were in power, these things happened. Look, we need to reset this economy. We need to reset this economy. Why? Because people take things for granted and feel they have the right and power to do certain things. The army is not supposed to be on the streets during election. The only time you would bring the army in is when there's grave violence that the police can't handle on the day. So what are we doing?
All right.
And how does that help a political party if the political party's intention isn't to steal elections? How?
I'll just let us land on this.
Bella, just
you
one
have touched on
second.
it already, which is why I don't want to come
I just
back to
want to help
One
lawyer
second.
to solve this problem, and that is to vote Alan. And I read, amend Article 70 from the GTP. Amend Article 70, 190, 195, 202, 207, 212, 2322 related to the appointment of heads of independent constitutional bodies and other public sector entities and the heads of security services to make the appointment of the said officers by the president subject to approval of the security chamber. Okay. Now, if you have heads of security being appointed by the president, then it is the president and his party in power that would control.
Tell Alan that it is suicidal for him to leave the presidency, to leave the appointment of security agencies to another body.
It's suicidal?
No. Suicidal.
No. No.
We're getting into conversations we didn't plan for, but
not at all.
Somebody else should appoint a security chief for a president.
If we want to deal with the canker that is going on, all right?
Is that what happens?
And that is why Alan is preaching that you have given so much powers to the president that presidents feel like they are gods. And lawyers,
but there's so much power is about other areas.
You understand?
Where the president appoints,
and of course,
where the president appoints communication officer for Ghana gas.
If you have
those
read
are the things.
But
the security chief of the country, you say somebody else should appoint him for him.
Okay.